I'm Brandon.
And I'm Jesse.
We're Cannabis School. Having cannabis-infused conversations
with everyday people,
cannabis companies,
celebrities,
and your mom.
Welcome to the Sesh.
We've discovered that the power of story is by far the strongest thing in this world. Period. Full stop. And if you don't believe that one, watch all of the government files being declassified about stuff that they said not real. They're like, yeah, it's kind of real. And a bunch of other stuff like, yeah, we did some fucked up things. We know we told you forever.
Yeah.
We've not done them. So people.
Well, that's how it's always been, though.
But
if you trust your government, you're a dumbass. Because it's always been that it's the retrospective. Oh, no, we didn't do that. We did that. But we waited 25 years to classify that we were fucked up and we actually did that.
Well, the thing is
it's been a constant.
It's an edge that cuts both ways. So we the people, right? We the people get to decide who's in government.
Yeah.
We the people also decided to furlough our decisions to a few.
And to continue.
Doing that.
It is the people who continue to make these choices and decisions of allowing it to happen. Yeah.
The people, we the people, elected local officials that are nothing more than either one, a very big-hearted philanthropist, or two, they're an opportunist trying to be able to create some type of self-value that they could use to be able to get higher up into government.
There might be some there for a real purpose of.
I guarantee there is. I've met them,
but probably far and few and in between in comparison to what we really see across politics.
So the idea I have is that everything is not everything, but indicators to be able to allow you to pry instead of trying to. Because the one thing I would get at the events, people would feel I was reading their minds. But all I was observing is patterns of particular people that they do. So when I met somebody that was really into something, I'm like, oh, that's indicative of this, and that's indicative of this, and then it's spider webs from there, because I go into people I know really, really well, like you. I know how you are. You're a researcher. Right? I've got a new name for that. I think I call it catalyst. But you have a way of dissecting things down deep if you are interested. If you are very interested. And if the interest is to be able to make it better for all, that's what drives you. More than anything, you really want not segregation, you want community. That's the best way to say it. You just want everybody to be able to go, dude, we can just all chill the fuck out and not have to get so upset about these things. Like, it's pretty simple. Like, we just do these things. We don't have to have hate.
Usually.
Right? But that's the
So on that, I'm not a big fan of our current president in power. We got a neighbor just down the street who definitely is. They have signs up about how he saved America and made it all better and all this stuff. That's been up for years. Last night, 2 nights ago, someone went and vandalized that. Spray painted all over it. There's a brick wall below it too, and they looked like they had spray painted all over that as well. I'm not big on vandalism. I don't find it a justified response in that action. It was, and all that made me think, because they had also put a pride flag on that graffiti thing that they had done. I'm like, I mean, that's great in some aspect because they'd put like peace and love and that. And I'm like, but all you're equating that to is this pride or this community now is vandals, is destructive, is hateful, is like, that's not peace and love and support, and that's not your property. Like, and so it was this weird dilemma of, I really felt conflicted because I was like, yeah, I totally understand wanting to retaliate or do that. I wouldn't destroy someone's property. It's not mine. It doesn't belong to me. I didn't work hard to build it, do it, buy it, whatever. And I have a way more deeper respect for other people's property than I did when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And so I think it was this conflicted thing of like, oh yeah, look, someone was standing up, but then I was like, but that's maybe not the best way to do it.
Well,
and then I realized it seemed like it was chalk, at least all on the brick wall. So that wasn't horrible. At least the only thing that was truly destroyed was this person's like signs that they had put up.
well, and that's a great. I was watching this debate, and it was really good to be able to kind of look at it from a different perspective. Again, I'm a moderate. I see both sides. I do, and I see both sides being too extreme. 100%. You know, I came from a time it was way different. It was a lot more accepting. And I feel that now it's just like, even when you talk about those things in there, I don't know if you heard about this young man who killed another kid. He stabbed him in the heart. It was at a track meet in Texas. And the kid, it was a black kid, who came into this tent with another team, and everybody was supposed to go to their own tents. They told him to leave. He says, I'm not leaving. You're going to have to make me leave. This kid goes, dude, you're going to get out of here. Grabbed him, started to push him out. And the kid goes in there, reaches in his bag, pulls it out, and he goes, you're not going to do anything with that. And then he came forward and fucking stabbed the kid in the heart. His twin brother held him while he was dying. He ran through the knife. He goes to trial. He gets sentenced to 35 years.
The twin?
The kid who stabbed the other kid.
Yeah.
Right? Now it's all about race. You know, the parents, they even said, we forgive your son, because they followed that Judeo-Christian belief that I have to forgive you right now, which I think is a great thing because you just hold it. But
it hurts you, I think, more than 100%. It does the other one. And I think that's truly what the forgiveness is for, isn't for that other person. And it's for you.
Well, and here's the thing too, like and that's why I'm saying this cuts both ways, because it sucks that happened. It is a horrible. That kid was murdered.
Yeah.
That kid had intent. He pulled out a blade. And yet, even with that, the cognitive dissonance that is happening right now down there, where people are rioting because the kid is being said because he's being lynched illegally because he's black. No, he killed someone. He's going to prison because he killed someone. There was a GoFundMe that was started for the kid who stabbed the other kid to death. Because what's his family going to do? What the fuck are you talking about? The kid's 16, 17 years old.
I mean, that's still got to be hard. I can imagine that if my kid at 16 stabbed another kid and went to prison for 35 years, but I don't think that I would need a GoFundMe for that. Unless I had accumulated drastic legal bills that were going to just fuck my entire life. And maybe someone in the community was like, hey, I want to help your family. Yeah, it's not going to help the kid. The kid's in prison, obviously.
Right.
But like I could see that.
Dude,
that's understandable to me. But it all depends on the situation. Like,
well,
but it's the optics of every side going, look at this. And
no.
This,
so here's what happened.
Of everything.
They raised a bunch of money for him. About $1 million, over $1 million for this family. Well, all they did is packed up and moved and bought themselves a very home. Nice home and started living it up. Well, that GoFundMe money didn't get to them because they're like, they were raising the money for the kid. That's what it was mainly about. But the family was going to use the money legal.
Well,
for
so it's
legal,
supposed to cover legal fees?
legal and all that stuff,
Okay.
defense and stuff. But here's the thing. Every single witness, including his own friends, said he stabbed him. There was
Oh, yeah.
no
Well, all
bias.
that means is that is people who are willing to give away their money. And if that's their thing...
No,
you know,
that's
it's-
not what I'm
it's
talking about.
Stupid, but...
Like, I just think it's funny because the family was going to use that money just to go live off of. But the
Yeah.
whole thing was for the kid.
Right. For
it was to
legal
help
fees
him.
and stuff.
Yeah, get him out of jail. But the thing
That's
is,
kind of messed up to go, hey, as a family or a parent, like if some... Well, that happens to people
See,
all the time.
here-
their
here-
parents do.
here's the point, though. This is just where I'm coming from. He killed someone. Full stop. He killed someone. He took someone's life for them telling him to leave. Not because of race. It was because he was in the wrong tent with the wrong team. And they had all stipulated you need to leave. Everybody in that tent told
Yeah.
that kid to leave.
There had to be enough hatred that kid, like in that kid, to feel like he had to stab someone. Or enough fear to go, hey, I'm like...
No, fear. He premeditated. He reached into a bag and pulled out a blade. He was intending on being able to do that. And he was trying to call
They
self-defense.
call that premeditated?
Yes, if you reach for a weapon. Okay. If I
If you
grab...
reach for a weapon, but...
No, hold on. Wait. Premeditation means if I intend to use it, I will pull it out. Instead of, he had it and stabbed him. Like if you had a pocket knife, you pull it out and stab him.
Yeah.
But he went to a separate bag, which means he says, I know where a weapon is.
But he didn't have that on him? Because
No,
so he
was
left the
in his-
tent to
no.
go get it then.
No, is on him. It was on
Okay.
his person.
Yeah,
It was a
so he
bag.
had that.
He reaches into the bag.
Yeah.
Pulls
To
out
me,
the
that
knife.
feels like a pocket. Like if you're carrying the bag with you, it would be the same to me as reaching in your pocket.
It
and
would be a
grabbing it.
moment where if it's just you grab it and you start doing it. If he grabbed him and started beating him, that's not premeditated. He's just acting out of passion, right? But the premeditation is if you have a gun and I pull my gun out and I shoot somebody and I'm not lawful,
Yeah.
that's premeditated murder. I thought about it
Interesting.
and then I connected it. It's
I
not
always
an
thought
act of passion.
premeditated was like they had planned it ahead of time.
No.
So,
'Cause
as
it's-
far as I have been aware,
He's capital murder, so he's first degree murder. That's what this kid's going to prison for, right? I may be a little wrong on some of the law thing, but anyways, I'm only reiterating. But this is what I'm more pointing out, man, is that immediately this community is divided. The black community down there is so divided because what they believe is if any child, any person who is black, automatically, if it's going to prison for murder, it's because he's black.
well, and it's often tied to a person of a different color. And so then, like, it's so hard because there is such a history of hatred between it, of like us and them, that it's no longer just we, where it's a human.
What
and
are
a
you
human.
pulling us and them from? What's
The
the,
difference of
perception?
color.
Do
Like,
you believe
it-
it's the perception of color?
Well, you
why
said
they-
that these groups of black people are going, well, now it's color. So is it
no,
or isn't
it's
it?
half and half. It's they're like, no, calm down. He killed someone. That's why he's going to prison. The other like,
Yeah.
nope, he's black because
That's what I'm saying, but there's enough of those ones who are tied to that of like, it's the race thing. It's this color, this hatred that's
So,
tied to that.
a lot of
That's-
times this is the thing. Look, where do you think the perception of ghetto life comes from? Is it from the ghetto? I grew up
That's
during
just
the
their
time.
life.
No. I mean, back then it was different. But
What
we
was
had a
different?
lot of gangster rap that came out through the 90s, right? And it portrayed a lifestyle of making a lot of money with women and
drugs
gangs
and yeah.
and shooting other people, right? I mean, they were very explicit with it. That continued well on, and probably still is around today. But the perception is that these types of individuals who have this skin color only do these things, and propagated more by media than anything else. And I'm not saying like news. I'm talking like movies and stuff that would they would romanticize this lifestyle of what it is to be. Because when I grew up, it wasn't so much like that. Black people were black people. That's it.
Oh yeah, in some
Right?
places. I just mean that there's, like, we had on that doctor who was so surprised that I, as a white person,
Right.
had this police brutality or fear of police. And it's that same dissonance of like disconnect going, oh, wait, this is why. This is the box that you fit in, and this is why it's happening. There's always that subset of people with that. Like, yeah, there's going to be people just going, no, this human killed a human.
And that's
you
it.
know, but
Like,
then
that's
it's the other
baseline
side of
fact.
it going, no, it's hate. But that's what I'm saying is because there's so much hate in that side of going, hatred has existed. And it's got to be hate because you guys have hated us and we hate you because, well, history.
Yeah, but no, the hate usually comes from somebody premeditated and putting that in there. There are
But that
laws
comes
that have been
from
made.
hate of history
One-
and everything else.
Well, they just it's like anywhere else, right? It's even like you take any organization from the government, the LDS Church, all of a sudden they go, all right, blacks can hang out, right? Because that's the same way it's gone throughout all of it. It's up to whose idea. It's somebody else's narrative that is pushed to everybody else. That's the point I'm trying to say, is that this cognitive dissonance of what we believe is true compared to what we feel is true is completely different.
Random question for everyone at home. If you're religious, is your religion considered a religion in the United States anymore?
Why is that?
There was just a potential reclassification within Christianity of churches that are considered Christian, and the Mormon church was maybe not within that. So I was curious if potentially other people within our audience are in that as well, or if anyone has looked more into that because it was just a curiosity. Yeah.
Didn't even know about that.
Yeah, I just recently heard it in the last couple days. I have not taken any time to look into it because I've been doing remodel shit.
Yeah, how's that been going?
Dude, it's beautiful. I will have to show you the video of the closet that we've been working on my phone afterwards, but it's been sweet. Like last night, we finally put in a lot of the shelves. Like all the lighting in the closets are all in and that, and it looks really good. But I don't know. I don't know if that's actually going through, if many churches are affected by that, if it's something that most of them would push back, because I mean, the Mormon church has a lot of money.
Well,
I
actually,
can imagine that would be a huge lawsuit or battle. If
the
it
Fair
was.
Treatment Religious Organization Act, introduced by Utah Congressman Blake Moore in March 2026, is designed to protect tax-exempt status of religious organizations and prevent federal agencies from denying tax benefits or funding because of religious organization belief issues such as marriage, sexuality, or gender identity. So there must be some type of
I think it was different. Than
counter
that
law.
one.
So
Yeah. I think that is the counter
What's-
from the Utah one.
the counter.
Um,
Yeah, because that would yeah, because dude, there's a ton of them out there.
It was saying that there in the United States alone there was like 130 or 180 registered Christian denomination type of religions, and that they declassified it down to only like 30 something that were actually counted as religions potentially. Like I said, I haven't had the time to really, or I haven't taken the time to dive into that more. But it was just more a curiosity on that. I don't know. Drop your comments. Drop your thoughts on that. If you guys are in that, like, that just seemed really weird to me.
It wasn't even on my radar.
We have different algorithms. So
Yeah. Let's talk about that outside this.
yeah, it was just a very interesting thing that I had heard, and it made me curious. And I was like, just whatever we had just talked about, and marijuana. Now I don't remember where we were at before that, but like, it kind of triggered that and made me think. And I was like, I didn't know if you had heard of that, but it seems like not. And I wanted to know everyone's thoughts at home.
What I read on that is just it's a proposed bill. It's a proposed bill.
That's probable because it takes a while to push anything through. It's not typically right away yet. So, yeah, just weird.
Yeah.
I thought.
Well, and basically what I've just read is that it's based off of not accepting all gender identities and stuff like that, which
not accepting all gender identity. So,
yeah. So
if the
not
religion doesn't accept all gender identities, they're
yeah,
not
like
a religion.
Their beliefs.
Who introduced or is pushing that one?
It's called something Johnson.
Because that doesn't make any sense to me with
It
what they've been
means-
pulling from everything else. They've been trying to pull all
Protecting the
differences
Johnson
from-
Amendment. Johnson Amendment says 501c nonprofits, including churches, cannot endorse or oppose political candidates to keep their
Oh.
exact exemption status.
You cannot oppose
yes
political
so
candidates.
They're not. They're
Interesting.
to stay neutral. All churches are supposed to stay
I mean,
neutral.
Yeah,
Many nonprofit.
they're not supposed to play in
and-
politics.
Well,
but
and so this is actually
501c
towards
is more than just religions. Yeah,
right, and on top of that, it says many nonprofit and church-state separation groups support keeping it intact. So of course they're trying to do it. So the federal judge recently rejected an IRS statement that said it would made it easier for churches to endorse candidates without risk of their tax exemption. I agree. Sexual orientation protections. Moore's Bill RT intends to be able to prevent future administration from using tax-exempt status, federal funding, eligibility, or leverage against religious organizations to maintain traditional beliefs in sexual marriage and identity. I don't agree with that.
you
Just
don't agree with them.
telling people what they have to accept. I don't believe. The thing is if they're true, this is how I identify Christians. If you truly are accepting of all people and look at them as just other beings, and maybe some of them are really suffering, and maybe your judgment is just helping that profoundly come to the top, you can be a healing hand. So if you're a healing hand of Christ and you follow the way, you'll know exactly what you're doing. And I see every single human with absolute love and contempt. I absolutely do. I try to, even when I get frustrated with somebody, it's not because of whatever sexual preference they are. I don't fucking care. I care about the light of who you are. That's it. And there's so many amazing people out there. And when I
agree.
when I hear Christians, self-proclaimed Christians saying, I'm not allowing this or that, that's totally fine because you have that one. But if it ever does come your way, then this is what's going to happen.
Well, I think it's like my dear friend Derek, who I have not talked to in a hot minute. His idea that there's 8 billion religions on the earth because every human follows whatever it is they follow or believe different than the person next to them and the person next to them and the person next to them. Everyone's thoughts and step that they took, the step before that, is different than the person next to them. And no one's life is the same. So it's understandable that we would all have a slight different skewed version of whatever we believe, even if we're sitting in the same building of belief structure, that we'd have a million different beliefs within that to go, hey, this is how it is, or this is how it is, or this is how it is.
I think, yeah, kind of.
Because
It sounds kind of
everyone is-
lazy, though. Because then it's just saying, well, then everybody's just got their own thing going on. So,
but they do. Because
Issues, some
no
things.
one's lived the same thing. So
no, but at the same time, though, I mean, it's not as broad as that, right? And it's not
as broad as what?
Everybody has their own realities, and
You
everybody
think
has their own
everyone
problems.
shares a lot of realities and problems?
Absolutely.
World ones, yes.
Yeah, of course. I
Mm.
mean, those are the ones that you experience every day.
Yeah, but the ones that make us who we are is the day-to-day unique
Well, your
ones
environment
that-
makes you who you are.
Yeah.
We would be totally different. We were
Exactly.
totally different people when we were making
And-
a lot more money.
And no one has the same environment.
No, I'm not saying like it. Yeah. Well, then explain it deeper then.
Just because you don't like how I explained it?
No, I'm not mad at you.
No, I
Brandon.
know. I'm curious.
I know. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. Like,
What aren't you
we.
getting? What's the
Well-
hardest part, I guess, for what I'm saying?
No, I'm not trying to.
I'm
not.
trying to understand what I need to explain better.
Okay. So, So what's the resolution on it? That's what I want to know. If everybody has their own
Why does it need a
religions,
resolution?
no, well, because it's not explained the religious part. That's what I was getting at. Sorry, marijuana. I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck? So when everybody there's 8 billion religions on the planet. I'm trying to get that part because there is it's not like down to the micro thing if you do. Everybody does have their
No.
own interpretations, but
Okay, so that's what I
people
mean.
follow a certain direction. They
Ish.
tend
To-
most people do.
Yeah, to an
Even
extent,
those who
but
say
they all
they
have their
don't follow their own
slight
dogma.
difference within that. And it's those slight nuances that make their own religion. That, yes, they follow or read or whatever, pray to whatever God,
All right, well,
but in their own
Maybe
way, they
this is where I'm-
practice differently. So you're saying that you practice the same religion as everyone else?
I don't practice religion.
But that's what I'm saying. You have your own custom Jesse's version.
No, it's not a custom on that one. I'm just saying, like, I'm
So you
If
follow
there's-
the same as others
in a direction, yes.
in a direction?
Yeah.
That's very vague.
In a Christian direction.
Can you be more deeper?
Can I be
I don't-
deeper about
yeah,
that?
about that,
I see what
because
you're
it's-
doing over there.
No, because you're
Okay,
saying
so-
it's just Christian. That's
Christian
very vague.
belief. I follow the teachings of Jesus Christ.
So do a billion people.
That's right.
But they all follow it to their own way,
They
to their
fol-
own belief structure and extent,
Well, yeah, because you've got
and their
cer-
own interpretation.
Well, you've got the orthodoxies, which believe in saints.
Mhm.
So that's their version of almost like prophets in
But
a way.
even within your own family, how many of your members believe exactly like you?
Oh, no.
How many of them? Any?
Yeah, in some ways. It's harder
in
for
some
them.
ways. So
Yeah.
you'd say that they have a slight difference in
Well,
what they
and-
believe than you do.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I could follow that now. I could follow that. That actually is clear.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
it's been a wonderful wild sesh with a random selection of all sorts of strains.
Yeah, take it easy on this one.
Yeah.
This is really good.
Catch you next week.
Take care.